Ryan Booth for IFL TV in association with Macklin's Gym Marbella. Just doing a quick video because Mayweather's boxing this weekend. Floyd Mayweather against Berto. Berto, I don't really know him, you know. But people are tweeting saying, oh, I can't believe this is going to be Mayweather's last fight. This is so sad. Of course it's not going to be his last fight. Why would he retire at 49 fights, 49 wins? Of course he's not going to retire. Of course it won't be his last fight. Why would he quit? Why would he retire? You know, with the same record as Marciano, 49 fights and 49 wins. Of course he's not going to retire. But people are tweeting saying, oh, it's so sad, this is his last fight. Of course it's not. He'll get to 50-0. Set a new record. Yeah. People are saying, oh yeah, but the thing is, you know, if he boxes Berto in his last fight, he won't be remembered as greatly. He won't have that legacy because he's finished his career boxing someone who's not brilliant. But that's not true actually, because Rocky Marciano, nobody can remember who Rocky Marciano boxed last. They can't really remember. Most people watching this probably don't know who Marciano beat last. I don't know. We don't care who he beat last. All we care about was that he was 49 fights, 49 wins. That's what we do remember. We can't remember Marciano's last fight, who he boxed. But what we do know is that he was 49 fights and 49 wins. So the opponent doesn't really matter, you know. It's not like Mayweather's boxed a load of bombs, has he? He's boxed like top fighters. He's just beat Pacquiao with ease. And people are slagging him off, saying, oh, that fight was boring. You know, having a go at him, saying, oh, we've waited for all these years just for that. That was terrible. But you can't really blame Mayweather, you know, because he won. He didn't take a beating. He came out of there with his health intact and he got a big payday, so you can't really have a go at him, you know, for boxing cautiously like that. Yeah, you can't really fault him. It was boring, you know. That's probably why I'm not going to stay up till all hours watching Mayweather against Berto. But yeah, you can't really fault Mayweather. But it won't be his last fight. But I hope he does retire unbeaten, you know. You know, because there's a lot of people watching him, like really praying for him to fuck up. They really want him to mess up. They want him to lose, you know, because they're negative and their lives aren't going very well. So they want to they want to attack him, don't they? You know, saying, oh, Mayweather can't read, ha ha ha. You know, like trying to bring him down at any angle. So I hope he does get to 50 fights, 50 wins, you know, just to fuck up the minds of the haters, the negative people. 50-0. That's quite good, you know. I've just watched a Mayweather 24/7, you know, them documentaries, and they're good. They're quite predictable. You know, Mayweather saying, yeah, look at my new watch, yeah, look at this new car. But they are good, they are interesting. But I don't like them black yes men in Mayweather's team, you know, them ones who just laugh at anything. Anything he says, they're laughing. Ha 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 ha. Anything. They're just laughing. Just yeah, it's a bit embarrassing, you know, it's a bit cringe-worthy. You know, just laughing at anything. It's a bit daft. It's a bit daft. Hard work, dedication. Yeah. Who else is fighting on that show? George Groves against Berto Jack. I don't really know that Berto Jack, you know, so I can't really comment on who I think's going to win, but it don't really matter what I think, does it? I think George Groves for me is just... I still watch Froch Groves build-up videos on YouTube, you know, after all these months. It's probably even years now. Still watching it, you know, still getting entertained at Froch pushing Groves on the pitch. Carl Froch pulling him across the table, saying, yeah, we can all pull about a bit, you know, pulling him. George Groves with that little cube, you know, in the press conference going like that. When Carl Froch is talking, he's got that Rubik's cube going like that. He's not even listening, he's just going like that. What else happened? Yeah, the international superstar. Yeah, Berto Jack. I don't really know him, you know. I probably should have researched him before I did this video, but I'm not really bothered about the fight. A British fighter, George Groves, boxing for a world title. Yeah, good luck. Good luck. I wonder if Froch wants him to lose. Yeah, I wonder if he wants him, you know, because he irritated him so much during the build-ups. I wonder if Froch really wants him to get beat up again. Because he was putting it on him, saying, oh, he's going to cry. He's going to cry, you know, on ringside. He's going to cry. Call the contradictory Froch. Yeah, it's good. I think I might watch another Froch Grows build-up video on YouTube. But yeah, thanks for that anyway. TYAN Boo for IFL TV. Thanks for listening.